Welcome to the Worth It Practice YouTube channel. I'm back, I'm Leah Kleonsky, and I'm here to talk you through a strategy that I use on a daily basis for Facebook marketing. When I talk about daily basis, I mean I really do this every single day, and it's very easy, and it can be really helpful in getting more clients in your door and also building more relationships with other clinicians and other practice owners in your community. And it's very simple. Have you ever been in one of those Facebook groups? I don't know why us therapists are all hanging out in Facebook groups. It's very old of us, but this is where we hang out. And it's one of those like general area-wide groups. And there's somebody asking for a referral, a specific referral. So like ISO and OCD specialist to work with a 12-year-old male in person, private pay okay. Right? That's the kind of question you see pop up, right? Or ISO, a therapist to work with a 70-year-old who is recovering from stroke, must accept Medicare, right? We see these questions pop up, and then you see a bunch of people reply. And you know that not everyone who replies is going to get that client, right? There's only one client to get. And there is a strategy to replying on Facebook to make it more likely that you will get the client. And if you reply that way, not only are you more likely to get the client, but you're also more likely to build your relationship in the community and to get other clients. So before I tell you what I think is an effective way of responding to those posts, let me tell you the approach that I see that I don't think really is that helpful. Okay, so if you see something come up and it is your specialty, definitely reply, throw your hat in the ring. Even if 30 other people have replied, I mean, obviously the sooner you reply, the better, but even if other people have replied, you should still reply, in my opinion. The replies that are least helpful is the replies that do not speak to the referral question. So let's use my example before of like ISO, a 12-year-old who needs an OCD specialist, private pay okay. All right, a lot of people are going to respond to this. And a lot of them are going to say, we can help at www.counselinggroup.com, and that's it. Well, that's not enough information for me to pick you, right? That doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about your expertise. It doesn't say anything about your experience. It doesn't say anything about your specialization. There is no reason why somebody would pick you unless you are like only one or two answers given, right? If they like ask for a really specific insurance and nobody takes it and your name is there, you might get the call. But it's not very compelling and it's not a very competitive answer. The best answers to those questions directly speak to why a practice or a clinician is a good fit for that specific case. So for example, if I saw that listing and I'm like, we could help with that. I'm like, okay, I do have a clinician in my practice. Nazette Valles is an OCD specialist and she would work really well with this client. So when I reply to that message, I'm going to be specific. I'm going to say, I have a clinician who would be a perfect fit for this client because she's extremely seasoned psychologist and an OCD specialist with extensive experience providing ERP. You know, Nazette Valles has immediate openings on Mondays afternoons in our River Oaks clinic. And then I link her specific bio. So you see, so I've made a compelling argument right here for why this specific therapist is the right fit. And that is so helpful because if you are the person who's sending out this request, and I've before been the person sending out this request, like I'm not looking for just general recommendations. I want to send my clients someone good. So one thing I'm looking for is, you know, is there somebody who's listed who matches the description, right? Like the example I just made up. I'm also looking to see if the same people are recommended over and over again, right? If somebody has a lot of support, if someone else recommends them and other people jump on top of it, I'm more excited about that referral. So if I'm looking through this, if I am not the person who is putting out the ISO, if I'm me and I want us to get the client, I'm definitely going to throw my hat in the ring with that specific recommendation. And often, because I've built a lot of relationships in the community and Dr. Vyas is amazing, some people will respond and be like, yeah, she's great. You should definitely send the case to her. So that's how you are more likely to get the case. So definitely reply. The second option is, if you want to have a better chance of getting the case, then reply with details. Sometimes you don't get the case, but then you actually get other referrals. So from sending out a message like that, I actually might get an email unrelated that's like, I didn't realize that Dr. Vyas was an expert in ERP. I have a client for her. And I've had things like that happen before. So I've especially had it happen with therapists who are my unicorns. For example, I have a therapist right now who is a forensic therapist, and she works specifically with teens who hate being in therapy. And she works with their families and does family therapy through all of their conflict. So she's willing to go to court and she's willing to deal with those teens. And she also has really attractive times. So if I see a listing like 15-year-old with challenging behaviors, is struggling with family through a difficult custody situation, I'm immediately responding to that. And I'm saying things like, I think this child would be a great fit for Suzanne Sen. She does individual therapy. She does family therapy. She's a forensic psychologist. She works so well with these teens, and she's so happy to go to court. And then I'll get emails from outside providers later on being like, I didn't even know about that. Like, how can we send people your way? So yeah, I think I've made a pretty good case for you should reply. You should also reply. So that the next level up from this is if you realize that a referral is not good for you, but it is good for a friend or colleague that you respect. If you recommend them, it's a really positive thing. So, if I see a referral that is not for me, let's say that they're talking about insomnia in an 8-year-old, and we don't specifically treat insomnia, I'm immediately thinking about a psychologist I know named Jessica Mears, who specifically treats insomnia in children. And I'm putting her name in the chat. I highly recommend Jessica Mears. She's an expert in insomnia in children. She'd be such a great fit. Here is her link, right? And so I'm putting that out there. And then Jessica knows I said that about her. So that builds the relationship. I'm not going to say that about people that I don't think would be a good fit. But there's that support in your community where you're like, if this isn't for me, it's for someone else. And if I know this someone else, then I'm absolutely going to put that recommendation in this link because it benefits everybody. It benefits that client to get the right care. It benefits the clinician to be able to provide that right care. It benefits everyone to know that that clinician is able to do this. And it also, most things that are good out in the world are also good for you. So it also shows that I am a collaborative, abundance-minded person, and it makes my friendships and my relationships with other practice owners better. And it increases the chances that if they see a case that's perfect for me, for example, if they see a 3-year-old with acting out behaviors and they're like, oh, PCIT is great, they're going to recommend my clinic in those sorts of moments. So it's worth the 3 minutes to write this little thing up for somebody else, or maybe only 1 minute of time to just get it out there, put it on Facebook. It's, again, a strategy I use regularly, kind of throughout the day. I'll glance through Facebook, and if I see an ISO that applies to the clinicians in my practice or other clinicians that I respect, then I answer the question and I provide those details. It's not hard. It's not expensive. You can do it too. And I'm really excited to see what happens when you try it.